foreseeably will come before that board or commission for action. The use of a telephone to conduct such discussions does not remove the conversation from the requirements of Section 286.011 of the statutes. Similarly, members of the public board may not use computers to conduct private discussions among themselves about board business. That's basically what I want to reiterate. I certainly understand your contention, but my contention would be that your email traffic back and forth essentially amounted to discussion on several issues as well as collaboration on this draft charter. So I just want to make sure everyone is clear that any action, any discussion about an issue which could foreseeably come before the board has to be done in a properly noticed public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I brought with me today a precious document. I take it with me to a lot of board commission meetings. That's the Constitution of the United States of America. One thing that I think we sometimes forget, and I would like to say we don't read this enough for starters. But one thing that we forget, we get caught up down here in this little state law and this little state issue and this little county issue. But this is the one that matters to me, and I want to read it to you. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Well, I guess we've assembled peaceably, and my one grievance with this board kind of goes along with public comment at these meetings. Justice Robert Jackson once wrote, "The First Amendment ensures that if there is any fixed star in our constitutional constellation, is that no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be orthodox in politics." Justice William Brennan wrote in New York Times versus Sullivan in 1964, "The First Amendment provides that debate on public issues should be uninhibited, robust, and wide open."
Mr. Fu, if I can get you to your question.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Sometimes democracy takes a little longer than 2 minutes. I apologize.
No, I've given you 5 so far.
Okay, all right. I'm almost there. The courts have recognized the rights of members of the public to participate in open meetings and to present their views. The Florida Supreme Court has stated that specified boards and commissions, of which this is one, should not be allowed to deprive the public of this inalienable right to present and to be heard at all deliberations wherein discussions affecting the public may be made. My point in all of that is, you have placed a time slot for public comment. And I will say that I understand a feeling of bogging down the discussion if one member after another of the public comes up here and questions you during your time of discussion. I will have to tell you that I strenuously object to limiting the public speak to a specified time in this meeting. And I strongly believe that this board needs to be a little more understanding of the public of which you represent in this and open it up so that if a citizen has a positive comment, a negative comment, or an interjection, you never can tell. There might be a citizen that might be just smart enough to give you an answer that you're looking for. So with that said, I would like for this board to consider the public comment.
You ran an article where you talked about the appearance of sunshine law violations, and you have it backed up here, and we'll talk about it. We do have it backed up here with all the relevant emails where you found that problem.
Sure.
It kind of sounded like there was almost a threat. There was almost an intimation that maybe you were going to be sued, or I mean, did that concern you? What was your reaction to that?
I mean, as far as, am I concerned about any tangible outcome? No. I mean, I feel confident in my reporting and the legal citations that I've used to back up my reporting. I don't think there's any case for for libel or anything, approaching that. So I mean, I'm not concerned about any outcome like that. No.
Now, you have an independent site, and we have our independent little show here.
Sure.
Is that something that you've sort of experienced before, where you talk about stuff that maybe isn't being reported anywhere else, and there's this veiled threat that goes on?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that is the sole reason for Progressive Pensacola's existence. I started Progressive Pensacola in 2008 at a time when, specifically with City of Pensacola issues, a lot of folks I talked to just, I would ask them, why don't you get upset about this? Why don't you, come down and give your point of view, give your input? And the fact of the matter was that most people just simply didn't know what was going on because it wasn't, being reported a lot of the time. So that's the reason that I started that. That's kind of the nature of the website is reporting things that other folks may not be either inclined to report or may overlook. So I certainly do get into that stuff a lot.
Are you showing up and you're the only one there who's from the local media?
It has been a lot of times. It's gotten better. The News Journal has a reporter, Jamie Page, who is at a lot of meetings, not as many as me, but at a lot. And then sometimes he or Mark O'Brien will watch from home if it's televised. I know they've done that before, but so it's gotten better. But yeah, there are times when whether it's a city council meeting or a committee meeting or some other a lot of times when the Charter Review Commission was going on, or it just wasn't covered, and that's the reason for my site's existence. So I definitely have run into that.
Well, and it's the same with us. I mean, that's why we're here, is because there were so many issues, especially sunshine issues, that
Sure.
were not being covered in Santa Rosa County. And
Sure.
there's all kinds of stuff that still doesn't get covered in Santa Rosa County.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff, would you say are we looking at an independent media starting to coalesce here?
I
in
hope so.
Pensacola?
I hope so. I mean, I think that an active media, both from an investigative point of view and just an informative point of view, just getting information out there is really necessary for any community to be progressive and have accountable government. If the people don't know what's going on, put simply, they're not going to be able to participate. They're not going to be able to question anything that they may want to do. Progressive Pensacola, it kind of got a start and still really focuses most on City of Pensacola issues, but we get into Escambia County issues, auxiliary boards like the Consolidation Study Commission, the Charter Review Commission of the city when it was going on. We do focus mainly on government, though. We get out into other stuff, local entertainment, local. We had some stuff about the recent reports about ECOA's water quality. So it's not entirely government, but that was the driving focus, and it's still most of what we do.